To order. I'd like to welcome everybody. We're going to start off by doing our normal housekeeping item here by the approval of the minutes from last month's meeting. I'll entertain a motion there, guys.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second? All right, we have a second. A motion second to approve the minutes. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. All right. All right. Don't have any unfinished business. The first item on the agenda here is the election of the 2022 chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. Does anybody have any recommendations?
I move that we retain Wendell, Dustin, and Don going into the next year.
Okay. We have a motion. Do I hear a second? All right. We have a motion and a second for Wendell Miller as chairman, vice chairman be Don Jackamore, and secretary being Justin Cothran. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. All right. Item number 2. Special use permit to allow auto repair business in a C2 zone located at 690 East Main Street, submitted by Quick and Paintless Incorporated on behalf of Fast Glass Service. Sarah, do you have a staff report on that?
Yes, sir, I do. So this is a special use permit application for auto service. It's for Quick and Paintless Dent Repair. The existing conditions. So this is located along East Main Street in a highway commercial zone. As you'll see by this picture behind, Fast Glass is currently in operation in the front portion of the building. There are various commercial uses within the area of East Main Street, and it is just west of an industrial use, the Tyson Distribution Center. Going through our application review, this application is to allow an auto service center, which is permitted by special use permit. The existing is also an auto service center. However, no special use permit had previously been issued. Since this is a new business, a special use permit is being required. Staff did grant a conditional business license for this location with the requirement to obtain a special use permit. An incidental subdivision application will be required if improvements to the building are requested. Nothing is being requested at this time. There will be one ADA space on the property that will service both of the businesses. And according to 3.20 commercial building design, the front facade of the structure should be brick or wood. A great portion of this front facade does meet commercial building design, and although it does not meet it 100%, it is still in visual harmony with the surrounding structures. So it is staff's recommendation that we forward this application to City Council for approval as a result of the findings that the applicant demonstrates compliance with the regulations within Article 2.10 of the Russellville Zoning Code. The proposed use is in line with adjacent uses in this district, and current traffic routes are constructed in such a way to handle the traffic from this business. Are there any questions?
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Steve, you have anything to add to that, or you want to, or she pretty much covered it? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
We approve it and forward it to the commission.
Okay. We have a motion to approve this request for a special use permit. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. All right. Okay. Next item. We have a final plat for Param Estates located at 179 Waterworks Road, submitted by Alan Miller on behalf of Rebecca Brooks. Sarah, you got a staff report for that?
Yes, sir. So this is an incidental subdivision. We're running it as a minor plat for Param Estates due to the fact that right-of-way along Waterworks Road has never been dedicated to the city of Russellville. So the existing conditions, there is a single-family home located on the site with several accessory or mobile home structures. The applicant is proposing a new single-family home on Lot 1. It is located in an R1, single-family residential zone, but the right-of-way, as I had mentioned, has never been dedicated to the city. So during our review, typically, this type of plat would be approved at the staff level. However, since there is no adjacent right-of-way, because it has never been dedicated to the city, we do have to run it as a minor plat through Planning Commission to City Council. Additionally, there is a 24-inch water main that is shown on the final plat, and they have delineated that there's a 20-foot easement centered on that water line. They will actually draw the easement on there prior to recording, or signatures and recording. And then just a side note that any development that occurs within the designated floodplain would require floodplain development permits and any associated study or review of. So that staff's recommendations are to forward this to City Council for approval as a result of the findings that the final plat conforms to the final plat requirements outlined in Section 5.4B of the Land Subdivision and Development Code. The water line easement is located in an acceptable location over the existing water line, and construction of a residential single-family home is the highest and best use of the property. Are there any questions?
All right, thank you, Sarah. Is anybody here tonight on behalf, that would like to speak on behalf of the request here? Alan Miller, or do you have anything to add to that? Okay. All right. Okay, Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
One question for you. What's the use of the second lot? Is it industrial or is it gonna be another house?
Lot 2 is where the existing single-family home is located, and so my understanding is they're just separating off so that Lot 1 can build a new single-family home.
That easement, is that 20 foot, both sides of the water line are just 20 foot period? 10 foot, is that enough?
Yeah,
Okay,
we laid it in there like that, so we can fix it like that.
okay, that's good. Motion approved as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to approve this request. Okay, Commissioner Black seconds. We have a motion and a second to approve this. All those in favor, acknowledge by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. All right. We have item number 4 here, revision to Hudson Harbor PUD located off Marina Road, submitted by Barrett & Associates on behalf of Hughes Construction. Sarah, you got a staff report for us?
Absolutely. So this is a rezone. It's a revision to the Hudson Harbor PUD. The existing conditions on that is the public infrastructure and 3 building permits have been issued. 2 of those are almost complete. A 4th building permit has been applied for but not issued due to not meeting the requirements of the original PUD application, and the property is zoned PUD from the surrounding R1 zone. So this is another picture of what the existing conditions look like at that location. The application review. So PUD applications provide a way for creativity with development. They are beneficial when traditional zoning cannot be met and allow jurisdictions the ability to provide additional oversight on a project. PUD approval conditions do not allow for flexibility. Whatever is approved is exactly what staff are able to approve when they apply for building permits. Any changes must go through the process to update the PUD approval conditions. At this time, they are requesting 2 changes: additional square foot allowances for homes and an additional facade material. So when we went through and reviewed this, we looked at the 4 site plans that were originally approved, and they had a range of square footage, and they all had a delineation on the front. Some of them were 1,466 square feet. The largest one was 1,724 square feet. and the smallest one was 1,382 square feet. There were 4 total plans in the original approval, and those will remain as part of the approval. Additionally, the facade materials were brick and stone, again, with that varied delineation for the front facade. They are proposing to have a total of 10 different site plans. Those plans could be laid out right or left, but they're 10 plans. And the square foot allowance will range from 1,382 square feet, which includes one of the original plans, to a total of 2,431 square feet if a future owner chose all optional square foot space additions. So as I said, a PUD application, whatever is approved, is all that staff has the authority to approve. And what they're doing with this application is giving them allowance for some flexibility. They have their base plans, but then they have option A, square footage additions, option B, square footage additions. And so this is, I believe, the 1,382 square foot home, and then they have this option A, square footage addition allowance on here. And I'm just showing just some of the different site plan or house plans that they have requested for a staff to consider. You will see that in these plans there are still delineation on the front, which still allows for different facade materials. The proposal will include different facade materials. And then this final one here is the house plan that was submitted that is the reason that we're here. It did not meet the original approval requirements of the original PUD, and it requested an additional facade material that was not outlined, and so thus we're here reviewing this application. The new facade material that they're looking at, they're still looking at stone, they're still looking at brick. This says hardy board siding, but in conversation with the developer, they're actually going to do the Everlast siding, which is a vinyl composite siding, instead of hardy board. So I've got some information here on Everlast. I went out and talked to a siding contractor to get some information on Everlast vinyl siding. It's actually a composite siding. It's a newer product. As you can see, I've also found out where Everlast has been installed or installed as facade material on existing structures in the community. Some of the newer homes in Promenade subdivision have the Everlast composite siding, and these are 3 pictures that I've taken in the last 2 weeks showing the Everlast composite siding, so you can get a good feel for what that Everlast siding would be. You can see that they do have brick on these, but as staff was reviewing the application, our approvals will also have 3 facade materials for those with the Everlast siding. So staff does recommend forwarding this application to City Council with a recommendation to update the original approval to also include the following conditions. Floor plans submitted with this application and the original approval will be the only structures permitted within Hudson Harbor. There are 10 floor plans in total. Structures adjacent to each other shall not be the same floor plan. This goes back to the idea that this would be a garden home community and that there would be differences in structures. Siding, this Everlast composite, shall not be installed on adjacent structures to give you that garden home feel of the community. Siding, the Everlast composite structure shall have 3 facade materials, brick, stone, and siding along the street frontage, so that you don't have just the brick and the stone on the front and then have the vinyl wrapped around the house. It'll give it a more complete look for that structure. Structures without siding shall only be required to have the 2 facade materials, so going back to what was originally approved with the brick and stone along the street frontage. And we had a conversation, Dave emailed and asked, and so we're putting something in here that says that decks on the rear of structures may be permitted because some of the owners may be asking for decks. We did not want to have them come back for another rezone approval to allow decks on the back of structures, so we are putting that as part of our recommendation. Did not talk to you about that. You did not see it in the staff report. Sorry about that. And this is all as a result of the findings that the intent of the proposal meets the intent of the original approval to maintain the aesthetics of the community. The siding material allowance does not detract from the original intended approval requirements, and the subdivision has been constructed in compliance with the original approval. Are there any questions?
Is this gonna be gated? Yes. Only reason it's not, we can't get brick. Yeah. The fence would have been done months ago. We can't get final brick until February, hopefully.
Gated, as in gated at the entrance across the street?
I'm having the same problem with shingles, so that's building materials in general, so, yeah. All right. Ron, Logan, y'all have anything to add to anything that's been said? Or Dave, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So this is a project that we've been working on for a long time. I've been privileged to do two others similar to this, one at Chamberlain Country Club prior to this, and one in the city of Benton. And so I know what they look like, and they're really good, and people really like those. And so I'm excited that it's taken off really well. During, we have this pandemic, and the materials are extremely high, but yet we got, 6 houses going? Four houses going, and a lot of interest. So, my vision of this subdivision is starting to take shape, and I'm excited about it. And so with that said, we're finding, since it's a brand new item here, garden homes, it's not been done before like this, we're finding some of these little things where, some of the clients will come look at the floor plan and say, well, no, I want that bedroom over here, or I want this over there. So we're having to tweak that a little bit. And so that's why we're here, because even though we have the square footage there that was approved, any tweakness is supposed to be, after we talk to staff, it's supposed to be approved. So right. So it's a learning process with this, and I hope that after today and through stuff that Sarah and I and the developers all been working on, the next time that this happens, the staff will be able to give the next developer a lot of information. Hey, here's what you need to do. You need to add this. You need to add that, to it if you want it.
Is tweakness actually a word, or is that?
Tweakness? Yeah, I think so. Now, my wife would probably say no, and she's an English teacher, so she's probably watching right now. So I'll probably get a text here in a minute and say, sit down. But anyhow, we do have one, Miss Lee, that's here, that would just like to come up and talk about how excited she is to be a part of that subdivision.
Okay.
So she is on the list to talk.
Okay. Karen, I think everybody knows who you are, but if you would state your name for the record, please.
I'm Karen Lee, and I'm a longtime resident here in Russellville. And when I saw this project come forth, I was excited to look into it. And so I am a prospective homeowner who does want to make some of those tweaks. As you guys know, when you look at a house plan, there's always a few things that you'd like to change to make it suit your own individual needs, and I found that to be the case, and Mr. Hughes is very willing to do that for me. So looking forward to you guys considering that, and hope that you'll approve it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Ron, are you willing to name one of those streets Garza Lane, I think? Is that going to be one of the? All right. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions, any comments in regards to this request tonight? Ron, go ahead. State your name for the record, if you would, sir.
Ron Hughes. We didn't do this on purpose. This is all because clients come in, like Miss Lee. There's been others that have come in and they want to change this. We're not attempting to change the footprint. We're just trying to, everything we're going to do is in the same footprint. We've even talked about utilizing the space over the garage that we never even considered before, but we've had people ask for that. So that's the only reason.
Right.
Questions?
No. Thank you, sir. You guys are doing a good job out there. Yeah. All right. Anybody? Okay. Okay. All right, we have a motion. Yeah, Commissioner Smith made the motion and Commissioner Choate seconded. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. If there's no other business, we are adjourned.